Welcome everyone to Hal's 25th anniversary. We are so happy that everyone showed up, and we're glad that you're here. And we have some speakers tonight. But before we have our speakers come up, we'd like to introduce the board. Annette and I are very lucky to work with all these women. We're very hands-on and they work hard. And it's an honor and privilege to serve as board members with these women.
So we would like to have Nancy DeLuca come up. We would like to see Nancy DeLuca. Come on up, board members.
Nancy DeLuca.
Oh, don't worry.
Okay.
Come on, no, you're
right.
part of the reality.
Maureen Dooley Lawrence. Maureen.
Do a shot to the board.
Pam Goldsbach.
Pam. All right.
She's coming. Good. Here she comes.
Nicole Julias.
Barbara Knapp, our clerk.
Ann McGuire.
Joy McNulty, our treasurer.
Joy. Amanda Morris.
And last but not least, the board member that's been working the longest is Sue. Yeah, I'm sorry. We have one before. Come here.
Susan Grace.
Yeah. And Lori Meeks couldn't make it tonight, but then we have Sue Broadway.
So this is our hard-working board.
I got a group shot. Close together, kids. Close together. Alright, everybody's looking good. I want to see everybody's faces. Susan, are you with this? Come on. Come on, get closer, Susan. I'm not going to hold this very long. Everybody's looking good. Good, good. I'm going to do two more. One and two. Thank you. Thank you.
Amanda, if you would stay for a minute, please. So Amanda Morris is the chair of the 25th Anniversary Committee, and she would like to say a few words.
Bye. Thank you everybody for being here. What an awesome crowd. So I'd like to thank the 25th committee members, Mary Ann, Annette, Nancy, Pam French, Barbara Knapp, Ann McGuire, Leslie McGrath, and Lisa Westerveld. Very cool. They're awesome. And then we also have a special thank you to the Provincetown Inn for hosting such a great event for us. Kyle Thomas, who made and created an awesome gift that we're going to be presenting later on. Dan and Tim for taking, oh my Jesus, sorry, awesome pictures for us, videos all the time. Tim Kirby for designing our awesome 25th anniversary t-shirts. Rachel Harrington for printing them out. Raphael Richter will give a ride home to anybody that needs, so if we've had too much fun. And then we have DJ Mary Ellis for setting this all up for all of us. Thank you so much. Have a great night, everybody.
like to invite two very special ladies up there, two of the founders of HOW 25 years ago. Leslie McGrath. And Dottie Mulcahy. And they will tell us a little about the beginning.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Hi everyone, wow.
How's this? Good.
Break a leg.
26 years ago, I was watching the news when I saw Ann McGuire and Gloria Steinem. They were on the evening news. Am I yelling? No? Okay. And they were in Washington, D.C. fighting for a budget for breast cancer research. The statistics were frightening.
Okay. It all began with a single phone call. A call to Leslie from a woman in town battling cancer, and she needed a ride to a doctor's appointment. Thankfully, Leslie is the one who got the call. Leslie is the one who heard the cry for help. And I don't mean heard, I mean from her heart. Leslie, from her heart. So she shared with me her concern that some women in our environment were falling through the cracks in the healthcare system.
Yes, and at the time in Provincetown, the Province Health Support Group exceeded the care for all the people with HIV, and yet there was nothing for women in Provincetown. So it seemed like Provincetown just needed to show up and support the women who were being challenged.
So before long, we invited Betty to join us for lunch at the Lobster Pot for a brainstorming session. By the end of that lunch, we had come up with a plan and a vision of how to create an organization that would be like a safety net for women who needed help while they were suffering from cancer or chronic illnesses. And so from that meeting, we decided we needed to invite other women, local women, to join us and to help us.
I have a special thank you for Ann McGuire for showing me how to create community and the importance of it. Ann has been my mentor, friend, my boss, and inspiration for over 40 years. I love you, Ann.
So in the summer of 1992, the first board of directors was formed. And I'm afraid that a lot of those members are no longer with us, but I'm going to read the names of those original members. And if you're here, will you stand up or wave or yell out or dance or do whatever you need to do? Okay? So you ready?
I just want to thank everyone. 25 years later, how has exceeded our greatest expectations. All we need now is a cure.
So, the original members, in alphabetical order, are Carla Anderson, who is no longer with us, Gwen Bloomingdale, who is no longer with us, Diane Brunetta, who I don't think is here. Deborah Ennis, who I know is here. Debbie Estevez, who is no longer with us. Liz Grant. Is Liz here? She's one of our well-completion members? No? Susan Latz. Don't know where she is. Susan Leonard. Catherine Labelli. Not here. Okay. Leslie McGrath.
Johnny Mulcahy.
Paula Sperry. Is Paula here? Oh my God. Catherine Stillman. We're not doing too well here. And of course, Betty Mahari. Oh, there you are. All right. Okay. What about Liz Bowles? Is she here? Colorado. Okay. Who else did we miss? Deborah Mangelis. No? Oh my God. Okay. So much for the original board. So I would just like to end by saying thank you to all of you who are here, who have continued the work that we started 25 years ago. Not only have you helped us to realize our vision and our dream that we had 25 years ago, but you've helped hundreds of women who would otherwise be having a really hard time navigating this difficult time in their lives. So thank you to all of you.
I've been honored, we've been honored to recognize two people today, two people that are here this evening. And 26 years ago, Barbara walked up to me on the street. She doesn't remember this. She came into the store, she walked up to me on the street, and she said, I heard about what you're doing. Do you need a space? And I said, yes, we can't afford to rent a space yet. So she said, one of her friends, an acquaintance of Donald and Barbara's, had been re-diagnosed with breast cancer. And she committed suicide on McMillan Wharf. And Barbara and Donald did not want any other women to have to go through this, to not have support, to not have a community. Would you please stand up, Donald and Barbara? 20 but they donated that space to us for 20 years and never charged us a penny. Donald and Barbara Edwards, you're the best. You make Provincetown the beautiful community that it is. Thank you.
So we'd like to introduce someone who works every day for us on the Outer Cape. Sarah Peak, our state representative. Hi, everybody. What a great event and what a great thing to celebrate, right? Let's give it up for Hal. 25 years. Wow. Hal. So I bring you greetings on behalf of Senator Julian Cyr and of course myself. You know, Julian as our state senator is he's really tearing it up and doing a great job. But in addition to doing all the work he does for all of us every day, he has a very competitive race on his hands. So I know that my former campaign manager, Ann McGuire, would have said to him, are you going to be in Provincetown tonight? Or are you going to be down in Barnstable or Mashpee or someplace like that where maybe the voters don't know you as well? So he was receiving that telepathic message. He can't be with us tonight, but he joins me in greeting all of you, thanking you for being here, thanking you for your support. As I walked in with several people, I saw many people who have donated not only from their personal treasury, but their time as well as volunteers for this organization. And I am just so grateful and appreciative of that. So in addition to just being up here to offer verbal congratulations, Senator Cyr and I have, let me put this down. It's not the flag, I can put it on the ground. It's okay. So Marianne, as chair of the board, may I present this to you? We have from the Massachusetts House and from the Massachusetts Senate. In their nifty new blue covers, by the way. They used to be sort of cream colored and get white lint all over you, but now we have blue covers. That's right. So, I'll read the Senate version here for you. It's an official citation. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate, and the House one says the Massachusetts House of Representatives, hereby extends its congratulations to Helping Our Women in recognition of 25 years of support for women with chronic illnesses, disabilities, and life-threatening health conditions in Provincetown, Truro, Wellfleet, and Eastham. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success, and that this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to, and a copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate, and I'm his designee this evening. He's not here with us, but you have me instead, which I think is better. It's signed by our great state senator, Julian Cyr, and I think this has to be among the first of the Senate official citations signed by the new Senate President, Madam President, Karen E. Spilker. So, congratulations. And Elizabeth, if you could step here. As many of you know, Elizabeth has announced her retirement at the end of this year. So as Julian and I were thinking about it, we couldn't let the occasion pass without recognizing her great leadership and her taking the reins of this organization from another great leader who I understand is going to either video in with us, or we have a recording, or she's Skyping live. She'll be here. Irene? No. Anyway, Irene Rabinowitz will be with us in some form or other. She's, what is it that they did on Star Trek? She's going to beam herself in or some such thing. But anyway, Julian and I wanted to recognize you for your leadership and your dedication to this organization, and how through your leadership the organization has continued to grow and to prosper, working collaboratively with your board that is second to none among nonprofits on Cape Cod. And he and I also have for you official citations from both the Massachusetts House and the Massachusetts Senate as a small token of our appreciation. Thank you. And now, who's up next?
we would like to share with you a video at that end of the room. So if you could please turn around and watch this video with a very special guest.
It is Irene.
Hey everyone. First I want to thank Elizabeth for asking me to send along a video with this amazing occasion of the 25th anniversary of Helping Our Women. I wish I could be there. I can't. 6,000 miles away in Jerusalem, Israel, but I wanted to be there with you in spirit and maybe just share a few words. When I started in 1995, there was no way to envision what would happen. In the early years, we had a set of policies and procedures, and we had a great board of directors that at that time included 2 nurses, Etlich and Hazel Organa, and a non-nurse but a massage therapist, dear Susan Lance, who put her heart and soul into Helen over the years, as did so many people. One of the people who was a constant, and I want to say this at the very beginning, was Betty Polari, who never really left the organization. There were difficult times, but she was always there, and for me, over the 18 years, she was always present, and she was a dear friend, and I know there's a hole in the community since she has passed. Just to talk about my experience a little, I was grateful for the support of the whole community as we got started, reached out to doctors at Cape Health and the people at Cape Cod Healthcare and massage therapists and mental health people and dentists and everyone you can think of to say we're here, we want to provide services, we want to make sure that we're reaching the people that need what we do. They need transportation, they need financial assistance, they need somebody to talk to and somebody to help with applications for Social Security, disability, and Medicaid, and all that stuff, all the benefit programs, and to help hook them up with other services they may need. At first I was alone, and then the WISE board decided it was time to hire a client advocate, and that role was always client advocate and office administrator, which is kind of weird, but it works so well for now. And my partners in that were, first of all, Beth O'Rourke, who was just amazing. And then Sue Whittemore, who was with us for not that long a time, but she had a great impact. Of course, Terry Nesbitt, who is now in New Orleans, and she has her social work degree, and she's working for the New Orleans Police Department. As we say in Hebrew, Kol HaKavod for Terry, which means all my respect. And then Donna Zecker, who had been my friend for many, many years, and stepped into the role and helped refine it, and helped organize it and do it in a way that hadn't been done before. She had a vision and a view of organization that was like a little bit different, and it really helped strengthen the organization. And now dear Amy Howell is in the job. I adore Amy. She's been a volunteer. She's been a friend for years, so I'm thrilled that she's there. My personal milestone, which is something Elizabeth also asked about, for me, the personal milestone was when Sue Broderick became chair of the board. I can't remember what year it was, but I know for at least 14, maybe 15 years after my 18, she was the board chair. She was my partner, she was my boss, she was my advisor, she was my mentor. She was somebody I would fight with, and we would argue about things, and sometimes I was right, sometimes she was right, and we would always listen to each other and come to some agreement on how we could do things better and different, because it was always about the organization. I will always appreciate having Sue in my life, and I know she's smiling too or laughing because we used to butt heads all the time, but she was amazing. The other milestone was the ability to buy an office before I retired. And I definitely want to thank Treasury Peltier and Anne McGuire for their tenacity in making sure that this happens. One of the powerful things about having that office, which is a beautiful office, wasn't me having my own office, which I particularly didn't like all that much, but for us to be able to have a food pantry and a personal care products pantry. To me, that was a huge step up in services because the people we served really needed that. I see it's thriving. I see the community is donating items, and that there has been, even recently, an event at the Stop and Shop where people donated food and personal care products just to keep it going. And I know the community's been behind that. I think there are so many things that I could say, and I do want to keep this on at almost 5 minutes, and I do want to keep this short so you guys can go on and party and listen to other people and share stories. It was a great experience. It was the 18 years of my life that, where I grew up, really. I had come out of working in the AIDS epidemic, said I'd never work in human services in Provincetown again, and then there I was. And I am so thankful that I took that leap of faith and that the various boards of directors had that faith in me and trusted me and advised me and also listened sometimes. It was a great experience. I just appreciate it so much. Just a little side thing, because I know he's probably there. I just want to say, hey, Steve Broderick, you were always there for me. You were always there for Hal. You're there for the nonprofit community at the Outer Cape, and you're amazing. I work for Guy here in Israel now, who's a financial services guy, and I do a little consulting with his company. And you guys are similar. You really believe in the greater good and serving the community, that wherever it is, whether it's here in Eretz Israel or whether it's on Lower Cape Cod. So guys, I want you to go party. Elizabeth Warren, you were my choice to succeed me. You weren't ready at that point. I'm so thrilled that you were ready at some point, and I'm so thrilled that you're going to have retirement and be able to follow some other dreams that you may have had in your life. So guys, go party, have a good time. I love to all, and best wishes, and everyone be well.
Is this on? Hello. We're Hi. I'm Elizabeth Warren, the Executive Director of Helping Our Women for the next 3 months. So I have a couple things to say, but I noticed that we're running short of time, so I'm going to make it real quick. That's okay. Thank you all for coming. What a great group of people. There's such great energy in this room. It's just really a happy time to have everybody here together for the 25th anniversary. So thank you for coming. I want to thank Irene for the history that she gave, and thank her for all the things she did for Hal throughout the years. I want to introduce our staff who is here. Amy Howell. Amy, you want to stick your head out here? Yay! Thank you. Down Rachel St. Germain, excuse me, who is our Vista person, and also a very, very skilled technical person who created the slideshow that's going to be playing. It's played earlier, and it's going to play in a loop for a while. So you may want to go down, and you may look from time to time. You're going to see somebody you know probably in that loop. And who's not here tonight, Kat Black, who is our volunteer coordinator. There were so many people to acknowledge. For those who sat at that table in 1992, all the way to the people who just this week gave rides to our clients. We created a board of, I'm calling it people from the beginning. So you also, it's just close to the registration area, you might want to swing by there and see what names you recognize and maybe see your own name up there. The other thing I want to notice is, again, I mentioned the slideshow. We also have a list of upcoming events that are posted back there. A couple of very interesting things. During Women's Week, we're doing a bingo on Saturday from 2 to 4 at the Crown and Anchor. And on Monday, we're doing the golf tournament that we've done now for 4 years. This year, it's hosted by the Women Innkeepers. And then on November 1st is our annual fundraiser or gala at the Lobster Pot. There's also t-shirts for sale back there. 25th anniversary special edition. And also the family, the nieces of Betty Villari created a t-shirt that says, "Be like Betty." And we got those for sale. I want to give a special recognition to a group of people who generously responded to an appeal that was created to honor the 25th anniversary. And that was to help alleviate a problem that we saw. The stipend that goes to about 100 people every month has been $55 a month since 1997. So if you look at it this way, today it would take $80 a month to pay the bills that we were paying with $55 a month in the beginning and up until last year. So these donations will let Howe increase stipends to better reflect the impact of the Consumer Price Index. So I'd like to just read the names of the people who have generously given to that campaign. Now I have it on strict orders from the chair of this committee, Amanda Morris, that this is not a fundraising event. However, let me mention, there is still an opportunity to respond to this appeal to increase our stipend. So let me just recognize Kathy Bachman and her partner, who remain anonymous at the moment. Cape Cod Healthcare, Marianne Clemens, Nancy DeLuca, Del Filardi and Harriet Rubin, Leslie McGrath. I want to give a special salute to a very generous gift from Ellen Rowe Panizzi. Are they back there? Thank you very much. Irma Rostall and Lisa Westerfeld, who's also here. So thank you to all of you for responding. It's already been mentioned, in these 25 years we have served more than 1,000 women in our region, in our district. It's pretty amazing. So looking forward, what are we going to be doing? We've created a new program called the Compass Program, and it's our effort to connect people. I think you might know from research that people with chronic illnesses and other diseases are vulnerable to social isolation, and that in fact adds to their health condition and their health problems. So we're trying to create this program that could connect, not just a ride, but to connect people in a one-on-one relationship that can be developed around what somebody might just find of interest. I mentioned the example of, we have people who live in this town and these 4 towns who never get to the beach. We take that for granted. So what if they got paired with somebody who just took them out to park and look at the beach and have a picnic? It's that kind of enrichment that we're looking at and adding to our other services. And there are other ways. We've created a couple of special workshops. One is opening up to grief, and we're planning another one, and that's something we should do going forward, is provide more support to the caregivers for the people that we serve. So I said I would make this short. It's gotten a little longer than I wanted to, and I'll just leave you with one message. And that is that Howe is here because of the work that was done 25 years ago, 26 years ago. People in this community who saw needs and stepped up and created this organization. So I'm very proud for the time I've had to serve this organization, very proud of the work that I've been able to do with this board of directors. And as I told people before, I'm not going very far. And I encourage other people here who haven't volunteered to step up. We always need volunteers. So thank you all for coming. The big party's about to start, but before I do that, I wanted to recognize 2 town elected officials who are here. Louise Benden, the chair of the Board of Selectmen, and Lise King. You just want to... Very quickly, I just want to tell you, this organization and so many others like it
are the reason that we can all live in Provincetown year-round. And we're so thankful for your support. Lisa and I are going to do everything we can as 3 female members of a 5-member board. Isn't that a good idea? I said 3.
With Cheryl.
Well, with Cheryl, we're 3, but in any event, there are 3 women on the board. But see these young people, they always think they've got something on you. Anyway, okay, because they do. But anyway, this organization, the town can't do everything. We cannot, with our budget, do everything, but we have human services grants. We continue to support healthcare and other kinds of vehicles that make it easier for people to own homes, to stay in their homes here, and we want to continue to do that. Lisa King.
Hi. I'm the younger upstart over here. So I just want to say thank you all for coming out tonight and just say from the bottom of my heart how much all of you inspire me. That there is something to be said for the power of these women who connected 25 years ago to plant the seeds to start something. And it just goes to show me and all of us the power that we have when we come together. And especially right now, honey. We need this. Make it triggering just to turn on the television. So I just want to thank you all so much and let you know how much I appreciate every single one of you and the inspiration that you give us for the jobs that we do every day. And that you also are seeding our next generations, our children. And you're an example for what can be accomplished when we come together just one person at a time with an idea, that no idea is crazy, and that we can accomplish anything when we do it together. So thank you.
We are getting to the end very, very soon. Now we would really like to see Ann McGuire up here.
Well, sort of before I begin, I just wanted to say, yesterday I was out walking my dog, and this strange woman in this terry cloth dress, flip-flops, is walking around asking people walking their dogs and other people up and down the street saying, "Do you know any knock-knock jokes?" Anyway, I am very honored to introduce our next person to you. I want to give you a little bit of background, because it's wonderful background. About 70 years ago, in Buffalo, New York, birth happened to a big, large Catholic family. And lo and behold, Kate Clinton entered the world. She was born, worked, brought up there until she went to college, to Lemoyne College, where she got her bachelor's. And then she went on to Colgate University for her master's. I know there's a few, you know, rep and whatever. For her master's, because she was then going to be a high school English teacher. She did that for about 8 years. And then she said, "I don't know about this. I think we're going to try something else." So at that point she said, "I want to be a stand-up comedian." And boy, has she succeeded. Let me tell you, too many things to memorize, so I got to read a couple of these things. She began her stand-up career in 1981. She's done 9 CDs. She's written books, been in several Broadway shows. She's done tours like her Climate Change, and with Cyndi Lauper's True Colors, and many comedy albums. She's a regular columnist for The Progressive. She has received many awards, including GLAAD's Media Pioneer Award. And then comes time, I think I might want to make a little change in my life. So at the ripe old age of 70, I'm older so I can say that, ripe old age of 70, she decided she would take a year for her digital detox. What it really is about is she's out trying to get new knock-knock jokes. But the main reason we're here tonight is to really honor a true friend of Howe. 25 years ago, when Howe was just starting and needed to raise some money, they had no money, they thought, what can we do? Other groups were doing auctions, so they decided, okay, we'll do an auction. But who knows us? And they said, well, let's see if we can ask Kate. She'll give some credibility, and she knows how to auction. So they went over to her and they said, would you do this auction for us? Would you be our honorary chair? 25 years ago, she said, absolutely yes. And she started becoming an absolutely true friend to Howe. Lots of things during the years she has stepped forward and been. Last year when we did the Somewhere benefit at Town Hall, we were going to have an auction and the money was coming to Howe. Who do you think stepped in as the auctioneer? Kate Clinton. And you know what? We raised thousands of dollars. But big thing I want to do is this year she's taken a year off. And yet when we sat down and said to her, Kate, this year it's the 25th anniversary. 25 years ago you came and helped us out. Will you come this year and do it for us? And without a moment's hesitation, she said yes. So it is absolutely my honor to introduce to you tonight's honorary chair, Kate Clinton.
Who's there? Donald Trump. Get the fuck off my porch. All right, I'm back. Thank you, Anne, for that lovely introduction and your good memorizing. And it is true, I was out in my bathrobe the other day on the West End, the best end. It just got sharks and jets in here. But Anne, it's great to see Anne in the morning walking her dogs and all the dogs, and you have to have a dog in Provincetown, I guess, I'm not sure, or a cat, whatever. But I thank you for that introduction, and thank you. It's just been a pleasure to be your neighbor and to get to know you better. And thank you all for being here. Happy anniversary, 25th anniversary to Howe. Let's hear it for that. And it's great to be here in a room full of totally triggered women. What a week it has been. And in moments like this, I think all I want to do is scream. So let's do it right now. 1, 2, 3. Out with the bad air. Good, in with the good air. I once was with Lisa Marie, you know Lisa Marie in town, Nowakowski, and we were out at Beach Forest and we were screaming. We were doing some primal screaming. And a guy came whipping around the corner and he was like, what? And his dog got there first, but he came around like, are you all right? And we were like, yeah, we're great. We're just like, we have to scream. And he goes, oh, can I join you? And we screamed. I think it's very important to do that. But more than screaming, I think it's important to be in this room and to look at the person next to you and give them a little hug right now.
Board of Health. Thank you so much. HOW, Helping Our Women. That's amazing. And I understand at the next board meeting, though, they will be discussing a change of name. It's going to be HOW. BNEW, and that stands for Helping Our Women Because No One Else Will. Yeah. So true, I know. See how difficult it is to do comedy right now. Thank you to Leslie McGrath and Dottie Mulcahy. Thank them. Thank you for your sort of remembering and naming all the people on the board who are no longer with us. It's a tough job. But we still ask you to be on the board, okay? Even if you're feeling a little ill. Whatever, just get on the board, help out. And thank you to our state representative, Sarah P. I'm still honored that I wrote your theme song, which is, all we are saying is give Pete a chance. And I'm so honored Julian Sear also represents us. Julian Sear is a fine next gen. He's a lovely lady. I'm so glad, actually a little more than you. But anyway, okay. So I thank you for that, and I also want to thank one of the former executive directors, Irene Rabinowitz, easy for me to say, who gave quite the history of how, and it was great. So, and also, Irene is now in Israel, so tonight, for many of you, I say Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. There you go. All right, and you know, how is actually more important than ever. I think that it's been said here tonight that it is absolutely important. This has been another week that threatened at one point to blow the top of Rachel Maddow's head right off. That's how bad. You know, when she gets to that 20-minute mark, and you think, oh fuck, she's gonna blow. And I was with her, and almost blowing my head off. But the hearings where no one listened, absolutely no one listened, and the men were hysterical, and the women were calm. And I thought, as you know, and you all did, I thought Christine Blasey Ford was astounding. Absolutely. I thought she looked a little like Holly Near. Did you feel that? A little Holly Near, a little Laura Linney. Okay. But she was absolutely incredible, absolutely gripping, and everyone said it took her such courage to step forward. Absolutely. And I would add to that and amplify that and say it takes women courage every day to live their days and get to a point where they can come out. So about what happened to them. So I think we can say, yes, it was a courageous moment, but what she has gone through and what women go through to get to the moment of coming out and telling their stories, we are courageous every day. Hear, hear. Hear, hear. And now to Brett Kavanaugh. He was unfit for office, unfit for the judgeship before any sexual harassment charges came. Absolutely. Partisan beyond belief. He is anti-woman, and he is, and you will see if he gets there, hopefully not, he's extremely anti-LGBT. So whatever you can do to talk to your people in any state, to talk to their congressman, do it, get on the phone and do it. And because right now we're having it's like a trifecta shitstorm in the executive branch, in the legislative branch, and we do not want it in the judicial branch. And that's why, actually, I've been nearly, is that mine? I've been nearly homicidal the last few days, and my dear girlfriend always thinks that if women were armed, there would be gun control tomorrow. Sing along with me, arm every woman. It's complicated and complex, but this also, this moment shows us the importance of the midterm elections. Don't believe anything you hear. If each one of you right here would call 25 people in other states and make sure they are registered, just call your friends, ask them to call other people, that's what we have to do. They call it a blue wave, a pink wave. We must win the midterms big time in November. But I really do get discouraged. Like I've never gotten discouraged before, and we cannot go there. That's exactly what they want us to do. And in moments like this, you know and I know that it's something as simple, it's so huge, and what we're moving against is just so huge. But you know that in those moments, what you need to do, what we need to do, is just do something nice for somebody. Be good to them. Like, I love the program at Howe that is Compass, that you find somebody and you take them to the beach, or you do something. Even if it's a call, even if it's a letter, even if it's a potluck, you gotta have potlucks. I'm trying to bring back potlucks just to fight the digital age, okay? There's nothing like it. A book group, whatever, but we have to do things. And the great thing about Howe is that what they have done is given us an opportunity to do those things. That's one of the most wonderful, that's somewhere you can go and be a volunteer to do things. My dear friend years ago, and who she is no longer with us, even though she wasn't on the board. Just be careful, that's all. Call me if there's a problem. But anyway, my dear friend, many of you know her, Eileen Rose Bindell. Do you remember Eileen Bindell? She had the wonderful hair salon. It's now Snip, and it used to be Salon Rose. And Eileen was magnificent and very important in my life, and she developed kidney failure. And she had to go to Hyannis 3 times a week for dialysis. And it was just, I mean, she was so sick and it was so difficult, but Howe was there for her. And they took her so many times to go back and forth, and would often do it in the summer. You know that drive. And they did it, and they were absolutely wonderful with her, and there were different people that took her, and it was just, I mean, I was always proud of what Howe did, but I was especially proud of those times that they took Eileen, and I want to thank you for that. I know she was very grateful, and I do not drive that 13-mile road between Orleans and Brewster without thinking of Howe every single time. Thank you for doing that. I have another friend who took a woman to Boston. She was volunteering at Howe. She took a woman to Boston. She had a test or something medical procedure to do in Boston, and she took her in, and they didn't know each other. This is the great thing about Howe, too. You meet people you wouldn't ordinarily met. And they got talking, and they were so involved in talking that they drove over the bridge and went around the rotary when I was there, and then they drove back. They were coming into Wellfleet. They were like, what happened? But the lovely thing about Howe is what it does is it gives us an opportunity to do good things for everybody. So I want to thank Howe for all your work again. Thank yourself, and also, okay. I got all that in. I do especially want to thank Anne McGuire. Not only thank you for that lovely introduction. Elizabeth called me, and good luck in your next venture. We'll miss you, and thank you for your work. But Elizabeth called me and said, Anne wants to know what she can say about you and what you don't want her to say about you. And I said, well, I want her to say all of the things that she thinks I don't want her to say about me. And know that I'm up after her. But I love Anne. The more I get to know community. She has been a community organizer and a great friend and family. She's a family lady, a family person, and she has. She's both family of blood and family of choice. She's an amazing person, and she is an extraordinary fundraiser. Actually, when I'm out walking on the street and I see her, I get a little nervous. I just think, just fucking write her a check right now. So I actually did write her a check. And I know this isn't a fundraiser, but this is a check for $250 in honor of Anne. And I don't want this to be the only one, if you know what I'm saying. And you didn't ask me to do this, but I would love to get like $5,000. Could we get 20 people in here to do, or just 10? I'm already going down. I've got a 250 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
credit card?
6. We'll take credit cards. 7, 8, 9. Again, Joey, double dipping. 10, 11. Tim over here. 12. Thank you, darling. 12. We got 13, 14, 15. Welcome back. 16, 17. Anybody back here? 18. 2 more. Okay, 1 more. 18, thank you. Right here, right here. 19, is that a camera hand or? Okay. 19, thank you. 20, we did it. Oh, that's 20 more. That's that. Where's that? In honor of Anne, here you go. Make sure you see the people after and put your checks in. I will follow up. And it's just going to come to your house. Anyway, meeting everybody. Okay, but I think we're going to have a dance now. No? Okay. Okay.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
We have one other thing.
Okay. Is it from Sarah Peak?
Hal just wanted to say thank you, and we have just a little something for you. Obviously, I didn't wrap it.
Ooh. Oh. It is. Oh my God, how sweet. Mm-hmm. It's a pendant. It's the Hal Hart.